All right, what's going on, guys? It's Matt back again here. If you're new to the channel, I've called it 1% or becoming 1% because I want you to become 1% of the medical sales applicants, 1% of the medical sales representatives, and 1% of really everything that you do. Because if you're in the top tier of everything you do, you're going to have a great life. So if you're new to the channel, that's what we're all about, teaching medical device sales reps, how to do their things, how to break in, how to get better. And if you're returning, thank you for coming back. I appreciate everything you do, coming back and watching these videos. I hope you find enjoyment in them, and I hope you can get something out of it. In this video today, I wanted to talk about cold emailing. Okay, and what I mean by that is sending emails out to people that you've never met before. Maybe you've spoke to a little bit, but you've actually never met them before. They don't know who you are. You're trying to book a meeting with a physician that way, or just trying to get your product across through the form of email. And I wanted to go over some do's and don'ts of this because some people do this in a completely horrid way that just makes people not even want to respond to them in the slightest. So we'll get right into it. So at first I wanted to go over the do's. So do send personalized emails. So don't make it seem like the person that you are sending an email to thinks that you just sent this out to a bunch of other people at the same time. So what I mean by that is if you send out an email that's like, hey, I'm so-and-so with X company, would love to work with you. Here is my product. They get a ton of those. They're not really going to read through them. And then when you become, something that they get all the time, they're going to sort of brand you into something that they get all the time. So they're not going to treat you any differently than something that is very routine to them. And the next thing that I was going to say is don't sound like a robot. So this kind of goes along with the topic that we were talking about last time with, make them personalized. Don't sound like it came off as automated. You can be personal, you can be funny in your emails. I am all the time. Sometimes I use even like emojis in my emails, other kinds of things that kind of make you stand out. I do think it is a, communication when people say that you need to be completely formal all the time. At least in what I do, I definitely do not. If you're talking to C-suite people all day and whatnot, maybe, you should be a little bit more, but at least for what I do and what most medical reps do, and you're talking to, hospital staff and physicians, keep it cool, keep it calm, keep it light. So another thing I wanted to talk about was open-ended questions. So when you're responding to people or you're writing them emails, you definitely want to have a question in mind that you need answered. And when you are writing them an email, you need to make it so that it is a question that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. Because if it's no, they're not going to respond to you a lot of the times if they don't know you. So that leaves it so they don't even have to respond. And then if it is yes, it could be a very informal, follow up with so-and-so. So the questions that you generate, you need to formulate in a way that it requires them to think, to ask someone, and to generate a need to get back to you. So now we're going to get across with the don'ts. So these are more important than the do's, in my opinion, because when you do these, you might not get another chance and whatnot, because you might just automatically be blacklisted or blocked off their email list. So one of the things is don't leave big and bulky messages. So do not leave giant messages that's going to be like a page down, causing someone to read that gigantic page and then put your brochure at the bottom. Literally, when you're writing a cold email, a lot of the times, the only thing that you're trying to complete is to get a meeting with the physician. Now, to getting a meeting with the physician, the only text that you have to have in that email is, when can I meet so-and-so? So if you write a giant long laundry list about what your product does, the other people do not care. I can assure you that. When I first started out doing these, I used to try and sell to people at the front desk of my product, and then I realized that was the stupidest thing I could ever do. They do not care. So just do what you need to say to try and get the meeting with the physician, be friendly, and be comfortable. So another thing that you don't want to do is lie. I've also seen people where they will say certain information about their product that is just completely wrong, whether it's on purpose or it's not, and that physician is very close with the competitor. They ask the competitor about it, what are your thoughts? And then the competitor actually showed the physician, your company's studies and went over it with the physician instead of you doing it. So be very careful about doing that and what you leave and email to a physician, because, some things can really be more harmful to you than not. So what I have always found is the most short, the most sweet usually works to get your point across with trying to book this meeting. So those are just a couple of things to do for cold emails. If you have more questions about this or want to, dive deeper a little bit, I would definitely be interested in, doing any kind of career coaching for you where we'd formulate a plan together and, start to see some growth in your career. So if you wanted to do that, feel free to message me on LinkedIn, DM me, anything you want to do. I'll definitely be around.